Silver is way undervalued, Ron, and I think it's the best play right now.
Does size matter? We're going to get to the bottom of it in this video. It'll be crystal clear for you at the end. Today, we are fortunate to be joined by our good friend, Coin Shop Chris. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm a little fired up, Ron, but that could be a good thing.
That is a good thing. We, on behalf of all the viewers, thank you for joining us. I got to start with a question, Chris, and I want you to answer this honestly. Do you think you can do that for me?
Absolutely not, Ron.
Okay. Well, I appreciate.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, here's the question. I want you to tell me the first word that comes into your mind when I say to you, my blank is bigger than your blank. What's the blank?
Silver stack.
Okay. I guess a good thing I didn't say longer. That would have probably elicited a different answer. So, Chris, you and I were talking earlier. Everybody's always so concerned about the size of their stack, how big it is. Do you have any thoughts? What do you think in terms of how somebody who's watching this video right now should look at their silver stack?
Well, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, Ron. I don't have to tell you that, and most people watch other channels themselves. I just don't like these other channels pointing out their whole stack. People are asking you, they're asking me, show your stack. Well, that's kind of like asking how much money that you have in the bank, or how many stocks you own of a certain company. To me, that's trying to keep up with your neighbor, if they see someone that has 268 pounds, like I saw a video on a short the other day, it's like some people will say, I'll never get there, so why am I even stacking? Everybody needs to stack at their own pace. It don't happen overnight. We have talked about this before in the past video, Ron. It just don't happen overnight. It takes, some of these people are probably more wealthy than most of us are. They've been stacking a lot longer, but they don't reveal that. They don't say I'm a multi-millionaire and I got 268 pounds, or I've been stacking the past 30 years. They don't tell us how long they've been stacking for.
Right.
So to me, don't just. I hate to use the word advise, Ron, but just don't look at anybody else's stack. Only get what you can afford to get at the time.
What do you think of this statement? I've heard this wise statement many times. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Well, it can be wrong. I really don't know how to answer that.
Well, I'll tell you what that means to me. That means if you compare yourself, whether it's your job or your house or your size of your silver stack, or in my instance, maybe how good looking I am to other people, if you're comparing yourself, you're always going to find somebody with a bigger house, better looking, more money, whatever, right? We're best off in life to compare ourselves to ourselves. And I think when it comes to stacking silver, especially for new people out there, an important thing to remember is compare, when you have 10 ounces of silver, that's a lot more than you had 0. And one of the benefits to being new to stacking is it's a heck of a lot easier when you have 10 ounces to double the amount of silver you have than it is when, let's say, maybe a guy has 2,000 ounces.
And and there's other good YouTube channels out there. I'll use this guy for an example. Silver Joker. I love his work. He has a goal of what he wants for the whole year. That's maybe a lot of the newer stackers, or most people should be doing this, is have a goal what you want by a certain time. And you know what? If you don't reach that goal, so what? If something happens, you can't afford to get more, so what?
Yeah. Yeah, row
I
your own
mean,
boat, row your own boat, and dollar cost average. Buy something every month, buy something every 3 months, buy something every 6 months, whatever works for you. But don't go out and get discouraged because you see some guy who's showing some table full of, tubes and tubes and tubes of sovereign coins and stacks of bars and everything else. And if somebody wants to show their what metal they have, that's great, no problem, right? Like I often show this, my 10-ounce bar, but I don't keep most of my silver at my house, right? And I really don't care to show people all the silver that I have. I probably would be more apt to like if somebody wanted to see my muscles, to show that during a YouTube video. Probably wouldn't fit completely on the screen, but nonetheless, it's kind of a personal question, and I think something that most stackers keep to themselves.
and that's a wise idea. Like I said, we talk about the dollar being money.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. It's a fiat currency for one. It'd be asking you, Ron, on this video, how much cash you have in the bank. You're going to tell me
Right.
it's none of my. You're probably going to tell me it's none of my business.
Well, what do you
So,
think about my idea that I'd rather show my muscles?
well, that's between you and Susie. If Susie wants the females to see your muscles there.
There'd be a longer line at the front door, I'm sure, Chris, right?
Uh, um, I would say in your dreams, Ron.
Right. Well, I do want to, I do want to reiterate to everybody watching right now. Thank you, by the way, for joining Coin Shop Chris and I. Thank you to Coin Shop Chris, who comes on this show every week, right? He's not trying to sell you anything. We don't have any links or anything like that. Nothing against people that do, but he comes on and shares his wisdom and his time. He has a very intimate, deep knowledge of what's going on in the world of retail bullion. So we appreciate that, and I think it's also important. And I don't want to put words in Chris's mouth, but I know that I will when I say this, that both of us, viewers, can rest assured. When I talk about silver and when I talk about gold, now I own gold mining stocks, but you can rest assured that we are eating our own cooking, meaning that and I know you too, Chris, have what to us is a large vested interest in the precious metals.
And exactly, and I just want to, before I comment on that, if everybody can like, share, and subscribe, that's a big help. And I will cheers Ron. Ron's always very appreciative. He's almost sometimes in a very happy mood or crying mood. I don't want to put words in mouth. After each live show, I do call him, and he's very happy that the super chats that do come in. And yes, I am very passionate about silver and gold. I'm like you, Ron. I don't own hardly any gold. I'm kind of on the same page as you with the mining stocks on that too. So for
Mm-hmm.
full currency, I mean, to me, I rather have silver over gold right now. I
Yeah.
think silver is way undervalued, Ron, and I think it's the best play right now.
Yeah.
Now everybody's not going to agree with us. That's okay. Oh, okay. That's okay if you don't think silver's undervalued or silver's worthless. We get a lot of those haters in the commentron. Silver ain't going nowhere. It's not done nothing for 15 years. Well, you go back 15 years, the people who got it 15 years ago have actually made some unicorn front does cash on that money.
Yeah.
Sell it now.
Well,
Yes, it's been.
you can cherry pick any certain time and say, well, if you'd bought silver in 1980, you lost money, or if you bought silver in March of, or April or May of 2020, you lost money. But if you over a 10 or 20-year period had dollar cost averaged yourself in, you're probably doing pretty well. I know I am. I haven't made a killing, right? But I'd say it's fulfilled its minimum purpose, which is to maintain my purchasing power. That's for sure.
And that is exactly how we do it at the shop too. We probably have about 150 5-ounce bars. We are putting on hold because we shop got them when they were $26 an ounce. we can't sell the 5 ounce bars for 26, right? We can't sell them what we paid for them. We got to make a little bit of something. So once silver
Right.
goes to like 24.50 on 24.75, we might be able to make $5 on that silver bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we want. That's when we want to move it to gain a little bit of cash to reinvest to get some more. A lot, and that's where I see a lot of shops fall into trouble. They buy all at once. The price drops, they're all in the hole.
Yeah.
To have a coin shop, and I will say this because I've only got permission from the boss. We try to keep $2 million in cash flow behind us. So when the prices do dip like they have dipped and we buy it, we can afford to get more to still, put that stuff on back hold on, get some more and have the inventory coming in still.
Yeah. And
It,
for an individual who's watching right now, they want to do the opposite, right? Now is probably a smart time to be buying. Unfortunately, most people, especially in the silver sector for some reason, are more apt to not buy when the price goes down. They'll buy more steadily, more aggressively when silver's up $4 or $5 an ounce over a 4 or 5, 6 week period. I think, and I don't offer financial advice, but there's one thing I would tell people is either strictly dollar cost average yourself in if you make a commitment and do what apply discipline, do what you say that you're going to do, even though you don't feel like doing it when it comes time, right? It doesn't feel good. Or if you can, and this is what I've generally been, overall, I'd say successful doing this, try to time your buys after periods when the price is down. Sure, it can go down lower, and it has. It's happened to me. I make a big buy, and the next day silver drops another 50 cents, right? But I try to avoid buying, and this, Chris, from talking to me. I mean, the last big buy that I did was back, I think, was it February when silver got down to like $20 an ounce temporarily.
right.
Try to buy when the price is down, and you're not going to feel like it, but that's usually the best time to buy.
I've always said cost average. I still say, there's a lot of silver out there right now, and I'm gonna touch that. I'm starting to see a little bit of a shortage, on some websites, but I'll get that to a minute. If you can afford to get 1 ounce a week, if you have a local coin shop and that local coin shop's good to you, and you're not paying no extra shipping fees from these online dealers, get 1 ounce a week if that's what you can afford to do. It don't, I say $30 or under, and don't matter what type of silver it is. Silver, to me, silver is silver. People will disagree with me with that. That's fine. I really don't give a care if people disagree with that comment.
Yeah.
But you got to get something, cost average everything out. Because at the end, when this all does go skyrocketing, when, I don't know, Ron, you don't know, nobody knows. But the numbers, the charts show us eventually it's going to take off. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Well, the charts and the fundamentals, and so I think the lesson that we're trying to impart to people, especially, I think to everybody, but especially the new people, is it doesn't matter how much silver the other guy has. Don't worry about it. Worry about the silver that you have. Focus on what you have. Be grateful for what you have, right? Like I've got a little bit of my silver here at my house, right? And, I have this coin that you gave me and a number of other, a round that you gave me and a number of other really cool pieces of silver. Focus on what you do have. And if you're new, right, just focus on slowly growing it little by little, consistently. You don't want to make a, if you make a huge purchase, right off the bat, you are taking a risk. It could pay off, right? You could buy it today, and 3 months from now, silver could be $12 an ounce higher. But also understand, if you make a huge purchase today, there is a risk that silver could be $2 or $3 an ounce lower 6 or 8 weeks from now as well.
And I will give this a shout out again to any of your newer stacks out there. And if you're a seasoned stacker, and if you want my input on something, feel free to email Ron. Ron will send you my email address, or he will send me a copy of your email. I will respond back.
For
It might,
$5.
no, not for nothing. I don't
For
charge
nothing.
people. I've helped, I've helped a handful of people, Ron, and and we see a lot of good comments saying that when I give the weekly special, we're actually doing a good thing for most of your
Yeah. Well,
your
speaking of
viewers
that,
out there.
Chris, you got some data you want to talk about and share with the audience?
Yeah, there's one thing before I get to that, Ron. When we say get the lower price silver, and there's a lot of people don't want to do that. They think it's gonna dip lower or this whatever, or it's like the people's minds like, I'm not buying now, I'm not getting it now. The price is too low. It's the same thing like with the Powerball, Ron, or the Mega Millions. Most people are not going to buy a ticket for 25 million bucks. But when the Powerball jackpot gets up to $1 billion, 900 or $1 million or $1 billion, everybody's out there buying them. Why? You got the same chance of winning at 25 million than you do at $1 billion.
No,
And
that's right.
Then people buy way too much of these tickets and they still lose. It takes one ticket to win. But on that note, yes, I do have
that's our lotto playing advice tip for the video, right?
Well, that's it's a really a good analogy. When people see it's got to be on the news before people react. And once silver and gold talks more and more on the news, people are going to start waking up, and then it's going to be too late.
No, I want to interrupt. I have an important announcement. I want to interrupt because I don't agree with you on that. Once silver and gold, I do agree with you. You know that, Chris, but for dramatic effect, I'm going to say I don't agree with you. But once silver and gold are on the news, okay, like really on the news, like just a little bit, you aren't going to be able to get it. Maybe gold, but silver, once it gets any type of coverage on the news, if I'm sitting in that family or whatever it is, living room, I can't tell the difference, whatever, upstairs. And in the morning, every morning, Susie turns on the Today Show and I'm in the next room and I have to listen to the Today. When I hear the Today Show talking about silver, guess what? You aren't going to be able to get it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it will work that with that all metals, silver, gold, platinum. It's going to work like that all because it's all, going to be out of stock. And I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. That's not what we're trying to do here.
Well, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I'm just talking about reality.
Right. Exactly. It's just we can use the analogy of like the lottery again. When that's on the news, people rush go buy tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
yep. All right, let's hear your data, Chris. I want to hear your data you have to share with us.
Okay, this really not really a deal of the week this week, Ron, but I was looking around on some different websites, bone exchanges for one. I was looking at Pinehurst for another one. I'm starting to see a little bit more out of stock on different stuff. It's not everything's out of stock. Shop that I work for, Ron, it's really got good inventory. Our bone dealers really got good inventory right now, so I don't know if that's going to be a trend to come. But we were talking about between eBay websites and from the same company, bone exchanges. They have a 1 ounce Buffalo Rory around, and on their website, I'm not talking eBay right this minute, is $27.66 per coin or per round. But I believe you need $1.99 to ship it free. You go over to Bone Exchange's website on eBay, they're $31.91. So it's cheaper to get them right through their website. I was over at Pinehurst tonight trying to find something. Like I said, a lot of stuff's under $30 right now per an ounce. It's really a buy at under 30. I can't keep saying that enough. But they had the Mighty Eagle rounds. My coin shop owner calls them the Ugly Eagle silver rounds. I kind of like their ego. It's been
I'd hate to hear what he calls you.
but
Hello?
sometimes he calls me a pain in the butt.
No.
So, but the Mighty Eagle rounds, for the tube is $522.91, and that's from Pinehurst directly, free shipping right to your door. I checked. Excuse me, that was the eBay price, $522.91. I apologize. The website directly, they're not much cheaper. They're 11 cents cheaper. They're $522.80. So that's 1 week eBay seems to be cheaper on their websites, and it's going back and forth. I cannot stress enough. If you're on a particular website, I don't care what website you're on, highlight what you're looking for, put that in the search engine on your computer, or go to eBay, search it, see if that is a good price.
Yeah.
It could be
shop around.
I
Compare.
cannot stress that enough, because people say, well, 11 cents is not a lot of money. Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a drop in a hat. But me, I would rather save the 11 cents and buy it from Pinehurst directly on that one.
Yeah, sometimes on eBay, the same company on their eBay store will be cheaper. Sometimes they're more expensive, but you also have to compare whatever particular product you're buying between different sources as well. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that. You're always generous with your input for the week.
You're welcome. I just got one more thing to point out, Ron. When it comes to different types of silver, like the Ingo hot bars, Ron, or the Johnson Mathis bars, they carry a premium above what most silver is going for, because those two companies are not around anymore. Well, after talking to the owner the past few weeks back and forth, he was looking at numbers back from 2011 when silver almost got to $50 an ounce. I know it didn't quite get there, Ron. But at that time, it didn't matter if it was a Ingo hot bar or a Sunshine Mint bar. He was paying spot price plus a quarter at that time.
Okay.
So, not saying that's going to happen again when prices take off. We don't know. We're just using history, what's happened before. Me personally, I wouldn't pay extra for an Ingo hot or Johnson Mathis bar. I wouldn't pay that extra cost.
Right.
Especially if you're new to stacking.
Yeah.
It's really about your ounces and not about what's the name on the bar itself.
Yeah, focus on the ounces and decide if you want to do bars or coins, sovereign coins or rounds, and then try to get the most bang for your buck, the most ounces for your dollar, right? The most ounces for your fiat.
And once you start stacking, it's okay to change it up, between bars, rounds, coins, whatever. That's how I'm doing my stack. I kind of mix things up. But it took me a while to get a 10-ounce bar. Right now, Ron, I got 6 10-ounce bars. That's what I have. I got mostly 1-ounce stuff. But and I do have a lot of 40% silver. I have a lot, to me, I should say, and I do have a lot of 90%. Yeah. So I mean that is what I have, a mix of everything.
Yep. So do I. I think that's the smart way to do it. No doubt, right? You want to diversify in many ways in life, including with your stack. And remember, everybody, don't compare the size of your stack to somebody else. You got more than most people if you have any, okay, number one. And there's always going to be somebody who has more silver and gold than you. So, focus on what you do have and slowly growing it, and at the same time, slowly providing more safety and security for your family.
And I'll just like to close with, we, Ron and I are going to be both hard pressed for a video next week. We both have stuff to do next week. So you might not see me on a video next week. But if you have questions, I'm always in the comments. And Ron's always available to email back, so I can, forward the email to me, and I will get back to people. And if there's anyone listening to this video now this late, and please chime in the comments. That is true. I do get back normally, which is within 48 hours. Normally it's less than that.
Yeah. Coin Shop Chris is very generous with his time and offering answers, answering questions. We appreciate that, Chris. On behalf of all the viewers, thank you. On behalf of everybody at Ron's Basement, thank you. You're awesome and a great friend of our channel. So we appreciate you.
And thank you to everybody out there. Just please have a safe 4th of July weekend. And please don't drink and drive. And please don't shoot a firework off on top of your head.
That's right. Don't hold bottle rockets in your teeth. Trust me, that's not a good idea.
No. Let's all come back after the 4th, Ron. Let's all have a good 4th, and let's have a safe one. And let's not do anything crazy.
That's right. Maybe we'll see some fireworks with the silver and gold price in the second half of the year.
Hopefully,
tomorrow
yes,
starts the second half.
That would be the best fireworks show I ever seen.
Yep. All right, buddy. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Ron. See you soon. Bye-bye.